Yo, what is going on, my dudes? For this video I thought I'd do something different, do a discussion. I just want to give out a spoiler warning if you haven't completed the latest quest, Desperate Times. We are going to talk a lot about what was revealed in that quest, so if you haven't completed it yet, do so and then come back to this video later. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. Let's go.
Cats is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to Emma Kitty, who messaged me on Discord and gave me a lot of information and backstory to this that helped not only spark the ideas, but shape this video we have today. So we're going to talk about this new mysterious island that popped up on the mini-map with the most recent updates. I'm almost 100% certain, and I'm sure most of the community is, that this is going to be Orthen, the island that Karapak mentioned in the Desperate Times quest. If you don't know much about it, not a problem. If you spacebar through the quest, whatever the case may be, and you missed some of the dialogue, etc., we're going to talk about what it is, what it means, and what it could mean going forward. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So in the quest, you find out through the memories of Karapak that Orthen is a very old island where the first laboratory, or at least Karapak's first laboratory, was or is. Supposedly, I'm not sure if it's either the island or the laboratory itself or both, but either way, it seems to predate even the arrival of Guthix on Gielinor. So we're talking about some very old places. So based on the memories that we learned from Karapak, suggests that his plan is to restore a crucible found on Orthen because he believes that is how they're going to free themselves from the Elder Gods. We have no idea what this crucible is or what it does or what its purpose was way back in the day, but as I said earlier, it's some very, very old piece of architecture and technology, so it's very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen here and how it's going to play out. We do know at the end of the quest that Karapak stole the needle, so even if it turns out that the machinery is simply too old in this day and age, he may potentially have the ability to go back in time when this crucible was working, if that's the problem. These are all just possibilities at this point, speculation, I'm not sure, but that's as far as we know. Now, we don't know explicitly that this island on the map is Orthen, but it's pretty much all but confirmed. At the end of the quest, Karapak is seen taken off to the northeast, and during the quest, obviously, as I mentioned, he said that Orthen is the answer and that's where he wants to return to, so it logically makes sense that in the northeast, the direction he was heading was the direction of Orthen, and then we have this new island that pops up on the mini-map in the northeast. So like I said, while it's not 100% flat out confirmed, all evidence suggests that this is Orthen. The next thing I want to talk about is the possibility of Orthen actually being Fossil Island. As we know, in the most recent update, they've graphically updated the dig site. Dig site is the one location where they were building the barge for all these years to finally travel to the Fossil Island. I believe it was Mod Osborne on one of the live streams about a month or so ago, maybe a few months back, where he said that we weren't going to Fossil Island. Obviously, he could have flat out just been telling the truth, or he could have been trying to distract us or divert our attention so we don't really think about it. If this happens to be Fossil Island, I don't know, but it's something to think about. I'm pretty much all convinced at this point that Orthen is Fossil Island for a couple of reasons. I could be wrong, but let me know what you guys think. So first off, we get an update to Dig Site, which presumably has nothing to do with anything Dragonkin related, but everything to do with Fossil Island. So that's one reason why I think Orthen and Fossil Island are obviously one and the same. Next up, one of the NPCs at Dig Site now briefly mentions Fossil Island, referring it as the island formerly known as Fossil Island. Obviously, the new name could be Orthen. Again, just speculation, but that's what I think. Way back in the day, Jagex did show off this concept art of what a Fossil Island could be, and they showed a bunch of dinosaurs, etc. I think this was long before the Dragonkin storyline was ever solidified way back then, at least in the direction that they're taking the storyline now. So it's very likely that Fossil Island is getting repurposed as Orthen, and they're kind of abandoning some of these older ideas. It is possible that they could be incorporating some of these, specifically like the dinosaurs and stuff, into Orthen if they find a way to tie it in thematically. I mean, anatomically speaking, as well as from an aesthetic standpoint as well, dragons aren't very different looking from dinosaurs. So it could be that this place is infested with pre-iterations of dragons that happen to look like dinosaurs, or whatever the case may be. I'm just spitballing here. Or it could be that they scrapped this idea entirely and just repurposed Fossil Island as Orthen, and whatever happens on Orthen has nothing nothing to do with this early concept art. That's a possibility. It's also a possibility, like I said, that Orthen and Fossil Island are not one and the same, but I do really think it is. Now, in terms of what we can do on Orthen, since I do think this is probably the big summer update reveal, I'm not entirely sure what it means. We do know that Karapak has his first laboratory here on Orthen, and we also know of the Dragonkin laboratory, which is an elite dungeon. I'm not necessarily suggesting that there's going to be another elite dungeon on Orthen, but some kind of combat experience of that level or greater could take place here. Potentially a raid, or maybe some more standardized boss that we're accustomed to. That's a possibility. This area is rather huge. Somebody posted on Reddit. It's, somewhere around the size of Prifddinas, almost the size of Karamja. So we're talking about a very large area that can house a whole plethora of activities. So it might not just be a combat experience, it might be a large number of various different things. Could be something related to smithing, seeing as the Dragonkin made the dragon armor. I don't know. Possibilities are really endless at this point. Like I said, it's a very large area, could house many different types of activities. There is a live stream coming out in a couple hours after this video. It's a general Q&A, but some information might come out with that live stream. Some of it might debunk some of the things we talked about in this video. Some might solidify it, or it could be the case that they don't talk about this at all. But either way, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what we've discussed today. I had a lot of fun talking about this, discussing it, speculating, etc. If you have any suggestions and would like to hear my thoughts on any other possible updates in the game, maybe you've done your own research and you just want to hear my feedback, there is a link to my Discord down below. You can pop in the Discord. You'll find me there. You can direct message me, whatever the case may be. And I may just shout you out in the beginning of the video like I did with this one. That's if you want to see more content like this where we're more speculative and not necessarily just news driven based on actual facts and what Jagex said or tweeted, etc. If you prefer this kind of style of video where it's a little more just discussion type and not actual factual stuff we know about. Looking forward to hearing what you guys think about this style. That being said, I'm gonna wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you are not subscribed yet and you want more videos like this, as well as staying up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. I am out. Peace.